the soulmate myth. There's this idea that people believe like, oh, is this going to be this person is going to be rainbows and glitter and everything's going to be easy and it's going to be this perfect person. But when we go into the Bible, we don't see soulmate in the Bible. We see helpmate in the Bible. And so when we understand that, what I'm saying, this is just God's word and what he wants for us, right? So it's not about finding that perfect person, but it's just that person that is, fit for the purpose and that aligns with your vision for your life. And I think that's the main part that we, misunderstand. And I'm guilty of it myself. You get what I'm saying? Like I myself wanted to, take any woman who's like, oh, this she's good enough, and try to make her into this thing because oh she has this and she has this, and like oh I can work with that. That's good enough, and I try to make them fit into something that literally is just we weren't in alignment. Just it was not purpose driven. There was nothing there, but we try to make that a thing, and that's wrong, right? And so, and then you take the try before you buy. I'm pretty sure we all have heard this one before. I know everybody out here have heard this. That whole try before you buy. I used to say, you don't buy a car before you test drive it. I used to say that myself, and that is completely out of alignment with the way God wanted us to experience intimacy with our significant others. It was never supposed to be outside of covenant. You feel me? So we went straight to consummate and skipped over the whole covenant part. Like covenant was never a part of the thing. Again, I say this and I'm speaking from a place of I have no problem being transparent. Yes, I too was that. I mean, heck, I was married twice. You get what I'm saying? So there's that. Three was the whole, needing to be perfect. And just recently when I came out of my divorce, I wrote down, I put myself into an agreement where I said, my next time I go into a marriage, I want to make sure I got this much saved. I want to make sure I have this house. I want to make sure I have new cars because in my divorce I lost everything. So I just felt like, I want to make sure I have everything in line before I even do it again. And then I ended up meeting someone who literally like everything to me right now. But the problem with that was I went before a guy, right? And so we had to be separated in that sense. But I said it to say I went to a season where it was like, you know what, next time I get into a relationship, I want to make sure I got this, got that, I have this, I have that. And it's like, bro, no, that's not a thing. You may not always have it all right. And sometimes us as men, sometimes the best fruits that we may some of our best fruit may not even sprout until we enter into marriage. And so that's a thing. And so I mean, it's just, not putting so much pressure on ourselves, you know what I'm saying, the dating market and, embrace your singleness.